Hi guys, welcome back to Suero TV. I'm Lorato Akpata, your usual host. So today we have a very special guest. We have Mrs. Lorato Boakgomo Ntakhwana. Today, we're gonna get into her brain and just really get to know who she is, what she's up to, and just learn a lot from her today. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Rato. Thank you.
Emma, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I'd just like us to just get a little bit to know you a little bit. Who is Lorato and Emma?
I'm Lorato, aka Manti.
Emma Manti.
Yes, everyone calls me Manti.
Emma.
And I accepted the name after my mother-in-law died, because she was also called Manti.
Emma.
So I did not think that I deserved to be called that until she passed.
Yeah.
Now everybody calls me Manti. I'm a mother of 6 boys.
Wow.
Yes.
Emma.
I only have boys. I don't have girls, unfortunately, and I've always wanted a girl, but I guess I've got a girl now because my firstborn is married to my daughter-in-law, my daughter.
Emma, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I've been married for a while. I'm actually a grandmother of 2
Oh.
boys. Again.
Wow, boys again. It's good to be a boys
Yes,
family.
yes,
Emma.
yes. I'm married to Zibani Ntakhwana, and I'm an employer of 115 Botswana in my manufacturing business, Sally Dairy. Trading Sally Dairy, the company is called Gravitas. Yes, I guess I'm a former banker turned manufacturer.
Yes.
Yes.
If you can remind you guys a little bit, she's actually the former CEO of FNB. She's now running Sally Dairy.
Yes.
And employing how many Botswana?
150.
Wow, that is really. So today we're going to be talking about leadership, because you're one of the leaders in our society that we really look up to. Believe it or not, us women, young women, we really do look up to you, and we know you're a change maker in your area. So we would like to really tap on your leadership skills today, and then later on we're actually going to talk about you as an entrepreneur as well, Emma. So what important values do you demonstrate as a leader in general?
Okay, so my values start first with trusting in God.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer, and I anchor everything around Him who made me. And I think it's Him who has a purpose for my life. My second biggest value is humility. Yeah. I think leading with humility helps you to do many things that if you don't have, you will struggle. My third biggest value is integrity. I am what you see is what you get type person. I think that gives you leeway again to do many things. It also puts you in a position where people trust you when you have got integrity. And then my other value is hard work and perseverance. I don't believe you can achieve anything without hard work and perseverance.
It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
Things just don't fall on your laps.
Think nowadays people just think it can be easy, but actually, without you putting the hours and the effort behind it, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I'm sure also with entrepreneurship, it probably also just exposes you to that a bit, that it can't work any other way.
You know, Lorato is everywhere. Yeah. Whether you are in corporate or whether you are an entrepreneur, you have to put in the hard work.
Yeah. So do you believe that even when you're working hard, someone is always watching your hard work and it will be rewarded? And it's always rewarded?
Always. So I came back home after having stayed in South Africa for 15 years at the time. I went back for another 2, but I stayed 15 years in South Africa. And that's where I started working for First Rent, the group that got me into FNB.
Yes.
And I remember when I wanted to come back home, everyone in First Rent was saying, why are you going back to a small country like Botswana?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond, or do you want to be a small fish in a big pond? Yeah. And for me, I said, you know, it's bigger than being a fish in a pond. It's about going back home and getting people to see that it can be done. Yeah. I'm going to be the first Botswana CEO for FNB, the first woman CEO for a bank.
Yeah.
So somebody
you were
is
the
watching.
First woman for food. Yes, I remember that.
Yes, somebody is always watching. Yeah. And I recall when I went into the work environment in FNB and I was introducing myself to the branches, going into a branch And this was very emotional for me. There was like, it was one of the big branches that had about 50 people or so. And every single one of them had my face on their computers. I was like blown away, like, yes.
Was that a welcome?
It was like a welcome thing for me.
Yeah, that's very heartwarming.
Yes, it was very heartwarming. So yes, it said to me, they're watching.
Yeah, they're watching and they're looking up to you.
They're looking up to me. Yes.
Have you gained any commitment from your team as a leader on a general?
That's a very, very important thing to do. You have to have commitment from your team for you to succeed as a leader. Because leadership is not about being self. Leadership is not you can't achieve things on your own. Leadership is about commitment from people who you are leading. That's what leadership is about. You are not there for yourself. You are there to help carve out a journey for everyone who's in the team. Yes, commitment from a team is key.
You had whilst you had the CEO of FNB, you actually had a most majority women ESCO. What was the strategy there?
Actually, it wasn't even a strategy. I found most of those people in their jobs. I think what was a strategy, however, was to prove to people that to prove to everyone that women
can do it.
Can do it, and they can work together. So yes, I introduced a few more in the team. And I think in the end, out of an executive about 15 people, we only had about 4 men. And the rest were women. And we killed it.
Yes, you did.
In our high shoes.
Yes, you did, because we remember it very well. I'm pretty sure even your team still remembers your leadership. What would be your greatest strength if you were to?
Yes, I think my greatest strength is to lead a team and make it work. As I said, I start with, you have to be humble. When you get there, it's not about you. It's about everyone who is there. So my greatest strength was in building people and getting them to believe in themselves. That yes, we could do it. So it started at individual level. We actually started by going through a program called Investment in Excellence, which started first. It's about me. It's about us. And it's about all of us.
That's how you were implementing it.
That's how we were implementing it. So it started with self, went into teams, and went into the whole organization. So we built it like that. And it always starts with self.
Just hold it right there. Guys, we'll be right back. We're going for a break. Welcome back. We are continuing the conversation with Memma Lorato Ntakhwana. We're actually going to be talking about leadership today because she's quite a leader of note herself. So we're continuing with that conversation. Emma, now you've talked about your greatest strength. Let's talk about your greatest weakness.
Oh, yeah. I really struggle to get along with people who don't believe in themselves. I really, really struggle. I struggle to get along with people who are not willing to put in the effort. And I'm normally very snappy with them. And sometimes, especially for young people, to go through that fire is sometimes very difficult for them. I guess I'm a very impatient person. I'm impatient to get results. I'm impatient for you to just get there. So it's like, get on with it, man. What's your problem? So that sometimes becomes a weakness in the sense that some people, because they need a bit more natural.
Yes, it's not thrown in the deep end.
No, I think that's why God gave me boys and not girls.
Girls
are a lot more sensitive.
Yeah, that's true. Boys are very challenging.
Boys are like, okay, all right. She says
easygoing.
Whereas maybe my character and this weakness that I talked about for a girl would have been like...
Yes, you can't have 2 women in the same house. I don't even think it's just you. It's just all women have the same struggle with girls, actually. I think it's like boys with their dads.
Mothers.
With their dads as well. They actually challenge them.
They get challenged with their dads.
Yes, they do. So how do you get others to accept your ideas? I mean, you were sharing earlier on who started self and then the team. And how did you get that people to buy, your team to buy into that?
Yeah, so for any leader, if you really want people to buy into your ideas, they must see the tapestry. So you give them the dream, together you craft the vision, and then you get them to see themselves in the tapestry. They must see the role that they're going to play to achieve that dream that you have both crafted and the vision that you can both see. And normally it's a very exciting journey when people do that. Because as long as people see themselves in the journey, they want to come along. But if you get people to see themselves as just watching the journey unfold and are not important in it, it's very difficult to then get them to buy into what you are doing. So when I was at FNB in the corporate world, where people are a lot more engaging, it actually started right with the cleaner.
To buy into the vision?
To buy into the vision. Because the vision was about excellence. And excellence starts with when somebody walks through your door.
Absolutely.
So the cleaner is important to achieving that excellence. So they understood where we are going with this excellence vision that we had. All the way up to the CEO. I cannot say do something that I'm not doing. If I'm talking about hard work, if I'm talking about humility, if I'm talking about putting in the hours, I better show that I'm doing it myself.
Leading by example.
Leading by example is key.
Not do what I do as I say, but do
as I do. So you set the scene as a leader by actually showing how it's done.
So how did you now engage the bottom guys? This is obviously from Exco now to the lowest in terms of the cleaner, the receptionist. How did you get them to buy into the vision?
By creating fun activities. So we had a lot of fun activities. And I guess when you incorporate, the budget allows you to do that.
Yes. You can just, that's the thing with corporate. That's the fun part about corporate,
So first of all, when you get other leaders who are leading with you to buy into this humility, when you have fun activities, everybody feels they're on the same level. So it's easy to engage. By the time they go back into the work environment and they show people how it's done, and there is integrity and trust, because you are both leading from the same area, from the same platform, and people are also receiving you in the same way. So you have to get everyone to know that we're in it together.
What's your view on kindness as a leader?
Empathy. So I guess if you ask a lot of people who work with me what kind of a leader I am, they'll just say tough. They'll say she's a tough master. But people who have been close to me know that underneath that, I do exercise some empathy. And you cannot not do it as a leader. However, I also subscribe to the thought that when you exercise your empathy, you mustn't come out looking like you're a weak leader.
While you're at it.
While you are at it. And I think women do it better than men. Because men can be tough and not show empathy. But I think women are very good at showing both
the toughness, where to draw the line.
Where to draw the line, and be also kind and listening to the people that you meet.
So you actually mentioned that somebody praised you in public. I would like you to actually tell me exactly how you felt on that moment, just after the break. Guys, we're going for a break. We'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. We're actually continuing with Mama Lorato and Ntakhwana. We are going to be continuing with our conversation. And Mama Lorato, we're actually talking about you being praised, and that person praised you in public. And you say you don't like public praises, but this one felt special for you. Why?
Because it actually made me emotional. It was genuine. It was actually who I am. It reflected exactly what I give back. So when it happened, I had an aha moment, because I realized the reason why I don't like being praised in public is because there's a lot of people who just suck up to leaders because they want to be seen to be doing it in public. And
So
it's
that
not
you can-
genuine, so that you can feel
see
good.
them, yeah.
It's actually not even meant as much for you as it is meant for everybody else who's there, and so that you feel good about it.
And promote them,
And
whatever.
yes, but I'm not that type of leader. I like genuine praise. And that's when I had the aha moment that actually when you do praise people in public, if it is genuine and if it is really reflective of what the person gives to you, to the universe, to the environment, then it actually is a very good thing to do. So genuine praise certainly is now something that I do very often in the public domain. It doesn't mean that person doesn't have some weaknesses. It just means that the qualities that I'm talking about them in the public space is actually the qualities that I'm grateful for.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the thing is with human nature as well that I've realized, it comes from even when as a small kid. I mean, with my son loves being praised. I don't know if it's a boy thing. You can see, you know, you say, well done, or you might
Yes.
thanks, you know. So, but I guess it's also just good to, like you're saying, but it needs to be genuine. It shouldn't be, it cannot be. So do you lead with instinct? Is that what you mean? Like
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I always used to say, I've got the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th sense.
Yeah.
And I guess when you're a woman, it sort of comes naturally.
Yeah.
So yes, I certainly do that. I lead with a lot of instinct. And when you are leading a big organization, you have to lead with instinct. Because you are not always going to have all the information in front of you to make some very big decisions.
Especially at the top there.
Especially at the top.
It's very lonely.
And decisions are to be made fast. And some of them have got like huge impact in the future, either at individual level or at organizational level. So you have to have very strong instinct. And that strong instinct, I guess, comes from your values.
Yes, and God.
And God.
Yeah. Have you ever found yourself saying a little prayer?
Often, many a times.
A little prayer like, God,
many
I
a
need
times.
you in this moment.
I need you, Lord, be the chair of this meeting.
Yes.
Because if I don't have you as chair of my meeting,
I don't know.
it's not going to go well.
So you need him to come you if need be. Yeah. Okay. Are you more effective in a group setting or in one-on-one setting?
I think if there's anything I'm grateful for in corporate, is it teaches you to be very versatile. So I can do anything. I'm okay one-on-one. I can hold my own in a small group. I can also hold my own in a very big group. But I'm much more comfortable in more intimate settings. I'm much more comfortable in one-on-ones.
So you're a private person, as much as it doesn't look it, but you are a very private
Yes,
person.
yes, I am a private person. And also, the intimate sessions give you that genuineness that I keep going back to.
You get to really connect.
You get to really connect with people, and you get to really understand, sometimes even when they're coming from. So while I can also engage in a very large group, I find those that sometimes are just very noisy.
No, there's a certain culture that has started, I think it's been there for a little bit now, in corporate, that I've realized and I've observed. Very long meetings. People are having meetings after meetings. When do people get to do their jobs? What's your view on this? Meetings after meetings? What's your view on this, and how often do you feel it's necessary to meet with your team? What would you advise on this?
Yeah, so I believe in a large corporate, you have to live for meetings because that's your only forum to engage. And you have to engage a lot. So my day was just moving from one meeting to the next, to the next, to the next. In a smaller environment like the one I'm in, less so, because you interact in the factory while going around. But in a big setting, some people are all over the place. So it's not really easy to interact that much. So you have to do it through meetings. Long meetings. Have you had a book called Thinking Fast and Slow?
No, I haven't.
There's a time and place for everything. David Kahneman. So you have to learn to have short meetings and you have to learn to have long meetings.
Yeah. How do you go about praising your team member in public?
Yeah, so I do not like to be praised in public.
You don't like to do it, okay?
Personally.
Yeah.
So
Why?
it happened one day that somebody was praising me in public, and it was genuine praise.
Yes.
So whatever they were saying, I could see myself
Yes.
in whatever it is that they were saying.
They were not
And
sucking
I
up.
realized, yeah, they were not
Sucking
sucking up.
up,
And I
yeah.
realized why I didn't like being praised in public. It's because people suck up, and people will say things that are really not you. So it's not genuine.
Yeah.
So when you praise people in public, it must be genuine.
Yeah.
And people must relate to what you are saying
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
So whenever I stand up and I speak about Lorato and what she's really good at,
Yeah.
it's not really to make her feel good.
Yeah.
It's really some kind of feedback about the person that I appreciate in them.
Your experience with that person. Yeah.
My experience with that person,
Yeah.
what I'm grateful for
For that person.
for that person.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference between standing up in public and saying things that people want to hear, and standing up in public and saying things that are genuine
About the person.
about the
Yeah.
person.
And they, sometimes they need to be appreciated.
Yes,
And recognized. Yeah.
and when you know you have touched the nerve,
Yeah.
it actually brings tears to people,
Absolutely.
because then you know that you are saying exactly how those people see themselves
Yeah.
and what they're giving back to you.
Yes.
Or
You're
to the
actually
universe.
watching. You're listening.
You are listening,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So there's a time for everything. You mentioned the book that you actually read about timing in terms of short meeting cannot be done when it was supposed to be a long meeting.
Yes,
And
and
a long
long
meeting
meetings.
shouldn't be done. Emma, let's elaborate on that.
Yes, so if you have a conversation that requires a long meeting
Yeah.
and you make it too short, people leave with questions. They're not so sure what the outcome should be.
Yeah.
In the same way, if you make your meeting too long and it's supposed to be a short meeting, people get bored and they stop listening.
Yes.
So there's a time and place for everything depending on the topic at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like meetings where people leave feeling like we've achieved the end objective.
Yeah.
So timing
Yeah, it's important.
is important. Now I know what I'm going
what
to
I
do
need
next.
to do next.
Yes.
And as a leader, you should know that.
You should know.
You should know should be a long meeting
Yes.
and this should be a short meeting.
Yes.
So how does a leader now get to know this? Inform yourself, read about these things, because sometimes you actually think this was supposed to be a long meeting when it was short. Knowledge. How can
So
leaders-
for me, it comes from experience.
Yeah.
Experience of leading teams and experience of building businesses. So you sort of know this topic is an important topic to zoom in for everybody to understand and buy in to. And this one is just for information, so we just need to do a quick check and everybody goes. So it comes with experience. If you are not experienced in it, you must watch people who are experienced in it. Find a leader who, when they hold a meeting, you are very comfortable when you leave the meeting that the objective was achieved. So watch it. I don't think it's something that you can really read on. Maybe you can.
need to learn it.
You need to learn it, you need to experience it, because it comes with that skill set that you really can't buy. It's a skill set that you build over a period of time. And teams are different, remember. A team that could have a very short meeting on a topic could be different from a team that needs that meeting to be long.
So you need to have that instinct.
That's why
Comes
you
back to
need to have the instinct and the experience, to know. Teams fiddle. You can see the body language in the room when they are saying it's enough.
Yeah, when they're checking out.
When they're checking out, you can see. You can see.
Then there's no point you going on and on.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time to agenda
wrap it up.
meeting. Yeah. What type of leader? You mentioned it earlier. Or your team would say you're a tough leader. What else do you think they would say about the type of leader that you were?
I think.
You are.
My teams always say I'm the type of leader who achieves results.
Yeah. Get the job done.
Get the job done. If I think I'm in a place where I can't achieve results, I actually get very frustrated. There's a team that I've been in where results were not achieved, and I was extremely frustrated with that team. So results focused.
Yeah.
even when they do my personality analysis, it's going to results, focus, come very strong. I think they will say a leader who achieves results through authority.
Authority, yeah.
So authority comes from self-belief. I believe in myself and I believe in what I want to achieve.
And what I'm talking about.
Well, yes, yeah. It doesn't say don't challenge me.
Yeah, it doesn't say that.
No.
How do you take team members that challenge you?
I actually love it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And I think that in the space that I'm in this SMME space, people are not comfortable in themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have that self-worth that you find in the corporate space.
Yeah.
So speaking up is something that I'm trying to build with them, and it's not coming easy.
Yeah.
Because they have never been allowed
to speak up.
To speak up, to voice themselves. But I actually have come from a culture where the owners of First Rand and the 4 guys who started First Rand would be very upset with you if you don't challenge them when they speak.
Yeah, because they know the value of it.
Because they know the value of it. That's where you get innovative ideas.
Yeah.
So if you don't challenge them, they think you don't belong in that organization.
You're not one of us.
So it was an extremely flat organizational structure. You challenge the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So have you ever been a mentor to another aspiring leader?
Yes, I have been. And I don't know whether you call it mentorship or I guess coaching mentorship or just sharing ideas of leadership. Yes. Because I've been a mentor to a leader, a very senior person in a corporate. And when we meet, I don't tell them what to do. I listen to them. And I say to them, oh, I once experienced something like that.
And this is what I did.
And this is what I did.
Yes.
As opposed to, you must do this, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I'll say, I once experienced this. This is what I did. This is the outcome.
Of what happened when I did that.
When I reflected on it, maybe I could have done that. Yes. And that works. That works very well because it empowers them. It also says to them, you are in control here, not me.
Yeah.
You are the one in the driving seat. You can do it. Yeah. And it's your way, not my way. Yeah. But let me share with you what my way was.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Yeah, we're going to go for a little break. Let's go. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We are having a conversation with Ma'am Lorato and Ntakhwana. So we are talking about leadership. Very deep conversation we're having here. And we're talking about leadership, Ma'am Lorato. What is the most difficult part about being a leader?
It's difficult to lead people.
Yeah, I can imagine of different types.
Exactly. Let's start there. Yeah. People are different. Something that could work for one person may not work for another. Yeah.
And you have to find that common ground. And you are also a different person from them.
You're also human.
You are also human. So you need to find the common ground between yourselves and them. And sometimes that common ground is difficult to find with some people as opposed to others. Yes. And also, people must know that it's not about you or them. Yes. It's about the objective.
Yes.
It's about the legacy that you are trying to create. Yes. It's about the results that you are trying to achieve. Yeah. So sometimes it's difficult for people to grasp that. Sometimes people think maybe they need to suck up to the leader, so it's about the leader. Or maybe it's about themselves and being head in the organization or people not caring about them. But it's actually not about that. Yeah. That's why leadership is so difficult. Yeah.
Yes, Emma, you're talking about people understanding the difference between, it's not necessarily about us all the time. Yes, we need to take care of the emotions, but we shouldn't forget the objective.
Yes, and sometimes people don't get what the objective is. Yeah. That's why it's difficult to lead. Yeah. Sometimes when people don't get the objective, they'll be all over the place. Yeah. Because the journey has to culminate into that dream that everybody understands. Yes. So we used to have a saying in my old days in corporate. Yeah. Everybody must understand the dream to the extent where if we throw away the strategic document, it's here. Yes.
If it gets lost somewhere,
Yes, and it's like a plan of a house. The people who crafted it don't need to actually see it every time. It's there. They can visualize it
Yes,
already.
yes.
So it's difficult to lead people as long as they don't understand
The objective.
the objective.
Yeah.
And it has to be here
It has to be here.
and here.
And here.
Yes.
But you mentioned earlier on how to actually, get people into buying the dream is to make it fun and
Yes.
it works to
Yes.
try and as hard as it is.
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's like people sometimes don't understand this vision that you are all building towards is bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
If you can get people to understand that it's bigger than themselves, once the wave starts,
Yeah.
Manti can leave
Yeah.
and it'll continue
Yes.
long after
Yeah.
she is gone.
Yeah.
That's what you're really building.
Yeah.
You are building a legacy, you are building something that stays, that is here to stay
Absolutely.
long after you are
Yes.
gone. So it is bigger than you.
All right. So, what do you do when you're unsure about how to achieve the goals of the team?
You know, a leader doesn't have all the answers. A leader is only as strong as their weakest link,
Yeah.
which is the team that's around them.
Yeah.
I believe in team. I believe that whatever it is that I do
Yeah.
is something that is made up of different people.
Yeah.
So, especially when I'm sure of something, there is always somebody in the room who has an answer. It doesn't matter how junior they are
Yeah.
to some of maybe a little blockage that you might have.
Yes.
So surround yourself with the best. And I'm not talking best in terms of level or age. I'm just talking best in terms of passion and output.
Yeah. That's what matters most.
That's
isn't
what
it?
matters.
Then everything comes after.
Some leaders get threatened by people like that.
Yeah.
I love it. And they get threatened because they think, well, if this one shines too much, they may take it something away from
So that's
me.
not leadership, is it?
That's what self-belief's about,
Yeah.
isn't it? A leader who believes in themselves doesn't get threatened by stuff like that.
Yeah.
The more the people who are around you who are better than you, the better they're going to make you look.
Yes. The better they're going to make you look.
The better they're
Because
going
that's
to
what
make
they're
you
here for. Anyway,
Exactly.
to implement your dream and
Yes.
your vision.
Yes.
How do you deliver bad news to your team?
Um,
I'm sure you've done those.
at individual level, at team level,
Yes.
I think you do it with integrity, and you must come across as somebody who has a lot of empathy,
Yeah.
because bad news needs sensitive handling.
Yeah.
The bad news could be, by the way, we can't afford to have you in the organization anymore,
Yeah.
so we must let you go.
Yeah.
But when you do it, you have to build the person who's going to exist after they leave this organization,
Yes. Yes.
so that they're not broken. They can still go out there and be the best of themselves. So bad news, that's when I become a very soft leader,
Yeah.
when I have to
Deliver the bad
do
news.
that. Except if the bad news is about you not holding your bootstraps up.
Yes.
I think
It's a different way of
it's a different way of handling
But
that.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
because you are also building that person for the future.
Yeah.
If you don't tell them that the reason you are living here is because you did not achieve what
not
you are
perform.
capable
Yes,
of, you did
yeah.
not perform, tell it to them like that. Because if you sugarcoat it and you say, no, it's because we don't have a budget, when the truth is that they didn't perform, then this person will never learn how to do anything better than what they have done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leading the latest generation. This is let's talk about this one, which is actually the most challenging for most leaders, for most organizations at the moment. The latest generation of young professionals seem to be challenging for most leaders. How can you advise we maneuver this? Different leaders in different organizations, I've spoken to them, they're all like they're on their phones, they don't want to work, there's entitlement. How do we maneuver this?
So I think my first advice would be to the parents.
Yeah, starts there.
Yeah, because I've got millennials in my house.
Yeah,
And my children don't behave like that at work.
yeah, because of what they taught
Because
at home.
of what I taught them
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
I can share you a story where when they were going to school, and they were still in primary school then,
Yeah.
we had a meeting, a parent meeting, and they were telling us about drug use.
Yes.
and they say you must watch your kids, you must be watch what they are doing, be in front of the computer put the computer in a
strategic position.
Yes, like in a public space where you can always just as you go by look what I said to them after that meeting, that's not us. I trust you, I've taught you the values, you're going to live by them. I don't have time to be watching every single thing. I don't. So it starts with us parenting these millenniums. And when they go into the workplace, I think my kids do extremely well in the workplace. Only because of this upbringing. It's not because they're different from, it's not because they don't use their phones and whatnot.
Or they're in a different school. No, it starts from home.
It starts from building the next employee at home.
Yes, the next employee, the next husband, the next wife.
Exactly.
Somebody's wife. You're raising someone's wife.
The next citizen for the country.
Next president.
The next president.
Wow, that's actually a very good one. It starts from home. I remember, I have a friend where we discuss these kind of things, that it always starts at home. The values starts at home. So I think then it goes back to the parenting. So there's not much leaders can do at this point.
There's not much leaders can do, because when you are in a leadership position and you get an employee who has not been taught values at home.
What can you do?
What can you do? You know, there is governance. There is employee protection.
So some are basics,
Yes. So there are just some things that you will never be able to do.
Right. So there are kids who are there and they're fine. So let's okay. Lastly, can we please just advise on how can we lead through a pandemic? Working from home, leading with empathy, and ensuring at the same time that work is being done. Because I know right now that's a lot of challenge for many leaders, that the working from home model seems to be challenging as much as we are preaching it, that it gives fulfillment, but not everybody is doing what they need to be doing. How can we do that?
So when I was working in South Africa, I actually worked for an organization 20 years ago that allowed people to work from home. That was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
It was a culture in that organization. And they had performance management systems that took care of that culture. I think what we are struggling with in this country is a new thing. So our systems are not set up for it. And there is no culture, people don't understand what they're supposed to do. So when people are working from home, they think,
relax,
do as little as possible, go to the shops, do this and that. And I used to be very upset. I used to be very, very upset about it. But again, going back to the values of the millenniums, I watched my kids working from home and I felt so bad because they were just working nonstop, and I felt like organizations are now taking advantage.
Now they're also doing they're managing too much.
They're just managing too much. And not even micromanaging. It was just the length of hours and number of hours they were taking in a day to do work. It was never ending. It was just meeting upon meeting upon meeting.
And then after that, they're in.
People were just doing meetings for the sake of doing meetings. What you talked about earlier, short and long meetings.
Long meetings, so that people are working.
So they never took a break, and I thought this is unfair.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, So as a country, we need to build a culture. We need to have systems that make sure there's performance in this new culture that is new to us. When you work in a factory like us, there is no working from home.
It's a different way. It's
a different world. Milk doesn't make itself when I'm in my house.
That's true.
I have to go to the factory, and people need to understand that there is still people who are going to work.
Not everyone can work from home.
Not everybody can work from home, and be cognizant of what it actually means for those people. So when I call a bank, because I'm in the factory, and then I'm told, this person is not picking up the phone. It irritates the hell out of me because I'm at work, I'm working, and they're supposed to be working from home and they're not picking up their phones.
For instance.
So it's this culture thing.
That needs to change. So basically it's also if you're an organization that basically can measure performance, can measure if the job is done, delivering the job on time, there's no need to have long hours of meetings trying to keep employees engaged. Just have performance systems in place. That's what you're saying.
And trying to monitor them through Teams.
It doesn't work. It doesn't. I agree. Thank you so much for this interview. I don't know, Lorato, did you have any last words for leaders out there?
No, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. I think what I would like to say as a last thing to the leaders is make sure that your values, you live them, that they can be tested in very, very strenuous circumstances, and that people see you when they see the results that they achieve. So
that's it.
That's it.
Emma, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're so appreciated for coming. We just learned a lot from you today. Thank you so much
for the
coming.
opportunity.
Emma.
Yes,
All
certainly.
right, that was an interview with Lorato and Ntakhwana. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye for now.